something amazing happened last night. Now, as you guys know, on Thursdays and Fridays, we've had Keanu Thompson and Geno Bisconte co-hosting with Aaron Imholte on Steel Toe. And this has been going on for a few months now. And recently, Aaron came on. And, we've had the holidays, and he was off last week. And it's been a little bit crazy. Those guys were on vacation and doing stuff. So Aaron comes on, and he explains that, I think that Geno and Keanu, Kiki, people call her, are off the show. But it's because, Geno works for Compound Media, which is going through a merger with Gavin McGinnis's company, Censored.tv. And there's a lot going on right now. And so there's a good chance that they're not going to be on the show as much anymore. Maybe they won't be on the show anymore because they're both just so busy. And so Aaron spins this as, the usual thing where it's like, and I get it, man, they're going to be here for our 10-year anniversary show. He's doing this live roast of Aaron Imholte thing that he's putting on himself, roasting himself. And he wants Chad to come to it, and Geno and Keanu, and have this big blowout with all the Steel Toe people. And so I'm watching this yesterday morning where he's talking about all of this. And there was some speculation, some rumors that maybe it wasn't because of Geno and Compound. Maybe it had nothing to do with that. Maybe it had more to do with the fact that this restraining order leaked that showed that April was complaining, April being Aaron's most recent ex-wife, was complaining to his previous ex-wife that Aaron was abusive towards her. And, it's tough for people to stand by someone when they're like, well, I don't know. What is actually going on? And Aaron just keeps claiming that it's all bullshit. Horseshit is the word he uses. It's all horseshit. Were you watching this last night, Lucy?
Oh, I couldn't turn it off.
It was crazy.
Completely crazy.
Because as Keanu goes on live to Dish and explain what's really going on, Aaron was also live because he's always on the internet live. And so he was learning about some of the stuff in real time and reacting without getting a chance to figure out what his narrative was going to be, which is also kind of funny. But I want to start with Keanu. When she was on her show last night, she started to address this. She actually watched a clip of Aaron from that morning, I should say, that someone posted, one of the clip shows posted, so that she could respond to what Aaron is saying.
I couldn't afford to let them keep coming here. And then I couldn't offer.
You couldn't afford it. We were trying to be nice to you. You put us in a very sticky situation because April was also our very good friend. But you just got to us first. You just manipulated and got right to us first. And we hadn't heard from her in fucking weeks. So we were trying to be there for you. All right. Also, you couldn't not afford it. What about the weeks where you didn't pay us? How about those weeks? And then as soon as we kind of stop answering, ding! Oh, here's $100 for last week. I'm like, what about this week? This week. Thanks for the $30 on this week. All right. Doesn't matter. As friends, we would have done it for free. Don't say you couldn't afford us. We would have done it out of the kindness of our hearts.
So Aaron's come up with multiple excuses. And that's how you know someone's lying. Mm-hmm. When he just makes up all this shit. Well, Geno's got this thing going on, and Keanu comes with Geno as a package deal, and I can't afford them.
And they're about to get married, so they're very busy with their wedding planning.
They got all these different things. So he's got all these different reasons that he's throwing out there. None of these were communicated to him by either of these people who are his friends, who do his show all the time.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Kind of weird that he'd have to sit there and speculate. And what I want people to realize as we play these clips, Aaron is full of shit all the time. And what I like about this is that Keanu points it out and proves it, that Aaron's move, and I'm sorry I'm late to the party on this, I apologize. Aaron's move is that he makes up wild speculation and then elaborates on it to the point where it's so far from reality it's ridiculous, and then comments on that as if it's reality. And then by the time you're 20 minutes into a conversation with Aaron, he's talking about something that never happened, never would happen, never will happen, and really going, why would that be the case? It's so crazy. While he's hugging himself, you touching like everything. I know. I've been watching this guy.
You've been
so
watching
weird.
him too much.
Yeah, his posture is so weird.
Yes, if he spends enough time rehearsing this bullshit, this horse shit,
right?
He will start to believe it.
But meanwhile, as he makes things up with no evidence, he doesn't ever play clips. One thing Patrick Melton's been doing a lot lately, I think he stole from me, but I'll let him have it. He keeps saying, play the clip. If you're going to say that someone said this or someone did that, okay, well, put it in context. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we did a whole thing where I'm just like Stuttering John today? What a fucking idiot. He's drooling. All right, that was a good segment. Next up, it's like, play the clip. I want to see John drooling. I mean, I don't, but you know what I mean, right? You get the point. All right. So, yeah, Keanu's come to this realization that she can't believe anything that he says anymore because now she's the subject matter of what he's talking about. It's kind of like the news media. And I'm glad that there's been like this whole awakening in our country recently where they go, oh, they're lying to us. Anytime, this has been said for decades, anytime the news media reports on something that you're doing or something you know intimately about, you realize how wrong they get it every time. You go, oh, this article about me is completely bullshit. Yeah, so are all the other articles. You just don't know all the facts behind it. But this is
other stuff about Nick Rekieta was right, but this stuff, this is all wrong.
Yeah, this is the part that's fucked.
I don't know. She's moved in with the Requietas and she's completely addicted to blow, which I can't believe anything this man says anymore, honestly. I really can't. So, and we were like, yeah, buddy, anything you need. Me and Geno immediately, not that we already weren't, we were texting April. We didn't really hear from her, but of course, and this is where I faltered and have apologized to her. Of course, she doesn't want to, text back to somebody that's involved with him. And I get that. I completely understand. But it was a lot of non-communication before. But then he dumps that on us and pulls at our heartstrings. And Geno and I call us idiots, but we're too nice. So
I will say, and I should bring this up, both Keanu and Geno have been on this show. I'm friends with both of these folks. So, obviously I have my own biases and things like that, but they are very nice people. I've literally, I've never had an interaction with either of these people where they weren't the sweetest person to be ever. And I was even texting with Geno while this was happening last night. And, just incredibly sweet people who can be taken advantage of by an asshole, because that's the kind of people they are. They want to help out. And they saw that Aaron was like, and I don't know if I have this clip or not, but at a certain point, she even exited out where I was like, yeah, the internet was telling the truth. She's divorcing me. She filed the paperwork. And they're like, oh, you poor dork. You poor dweeb. She uses the word dweeb a lot, which is fun.
She loves calling him a dweeb. I like it a lot.
He is. He's such a dweeb. Yeah. So she's like, oh, you poor dweeb. Yeah, we'll help you out. Oh, that's so sad. So he's been very manipulative because he is the one who's pushing out all of the agenda, all of the information that's getting put out there. The Requietas can't talk about it because they have a pending case. April has been run through the mud so much. Where's she going to show up? Hopefully at LO, but you never know. So this is where Aaron is explaining, the other excuse aside from the he couldn't afford them and they got the wedding coming up. But this is the compound merger reason.
So he's going to warp it now as the reason that we're not doing the show is that we're so busy with the compound merger, which I ain't a part of Compound, not a part of Censored. I've been on Compound shows. I've never been employed by Compound Media. That's all Geno. But he's going to warp it as if, well, okay, so then this whole horrible thing comes up. And that's why they're no longer doing our show. Meanwhile, he's about to say horse shit allegations That had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. No, it's just because we're so busy with this compound merger, and I'm just a stay-at-home wife, and all I do is I just, I put my apron on, and I just try and support my husband. Blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. Absolutely not. Had nothing to do with me. So we're all good, homie. Had nothing to do with that. But you can't see past that, can you? No.
Horse shit allegations about me, which I can't say loud enough. Lies, incorrect. Mm-hmm. But it's 2.5 years ago.
Okay, that's another thing. Horse shit allegations.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that even with this, where it's in court documents, there's screen grabs of text conversations going back and forth, like all of this stuff we're not speculating on this. This isn't hearsay. This came out. If this is fake, April was lying, Ashley was lying, Aaron's the only truth teller in all of this. And yet we see him lie all the time. He was lying about the throuple. He was lying about everything they were doing when April wasn't living at home, and he was saying she was upstairs making candied bacon and she's actually living at the Ricadas, doing coke and getting fucked, like all of this stuff. And you go, okay, well, you're obviously a liar. You obviously lie all the time. But then this thing comes out and he's like, this is all horseshit, obviously. And he likes to play it off where it's like, anyone who knows me knows this is horseshit.
Every time.
I mean, if you know me, these guys have hung out with me. They've hung out with him twice. And he's like, they know me. They know I wouldn't do this. Like, I don't know that. I don't see you when you get in fights with your spouse.
I have never seen you behind closed doors, oddly enough.
They probably assume that he's not the kind of guy who's going to hold his arm like that while wearing a Clam Radio t-shirt. So, they're learning a lot about him in this minute.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is that t-shirt is an In Hot Water Geno Bisconte shirt. So even this is being manipulative, where he's going, yeah, but they're still my friends. They're not going to do the show anymore, but we're cool. They know the allegations are horse shit. They're not upset about that, obviously. And Keanu's pissed because she's like, Aaron must have known this was going to get out, because this restraining order was filed in January. So the fact he's like 2.5 years ago, it wasn't. It was less than that, but whatever. Who cares how long ago it was? And so Keanu's going, well, you're putting us in a really bad place where you got us to be your co-host. So we alienated our relationship with April, and you didn't tell us about any of this stuff. We didn't know that was going to happen. And she starts talking about the time that Aaron was on Misery Loves Company with Chad Zumach and Kevin Brennan, and it broke that the Ricadas and April were all arrested. There was a raid on the house, and there was guns and cocaine and children, and they were all arrested. And the way that Aaron reacted to that, as we watched him react in real time to his wife at the time, they weren't broken up yet, still married to April, the co-host from just a few weeks before this, and the way he was almost gleeful about them getting arrested.
He was relishing in it.
Yes.
Maybe when it was the Kevin Brennan podcast or whatever, when the mugshots or what have you came out. And we were just like, he's enjoying this a little bit too much, don't you think? Like, we're not retarded. We can see that this man is sort of like unhinged. He's like, well, should we order food? Like, he just was like glowing about it. That's not how you would react to somebody that you gave a fuck about. That was your wife.
I mean, if my wife was arrested, I'd laugh for a minute, but then I'd be like, all right, we got some shit to figure out here, don't we? You know what I mean? I'd probably get off the show. All right, Kevin Chan, going to talk to you. I got to go. There's a lot of things to figure out right now.
Logistics.
I got some food to order.
But no, it's a very good point with how disingenuous Aaron has been through all of this, because he goes from mad about his friend Nick and he wants him to get help and the children and all this stuff. And he's like, fuck them. They get their comeuppance. And so it's very difficult to understand, like, who is Aaron? He's not a genuine guy. It's very difficult to figure out.
I don't think that any of us know the answer to that question.
No, you wouldn't from watching his show, because from day to day, what he's communicating changes. So this is a funny thing that Keanu says. I pointed this out when Aaron popped on Chrissy's show, and Keanu was like, yeah, don't be a tough guy. It's not a good look. You look like a dweeb and all this kind of stuff. And so she doubles down on that.
Still trying to be a friend to him. We didn't know about any of this. We're still trying to be a friend to him. And we're going to do his show. And but something about Aaron, like, we know he's unfunny. We know that, like,
that's going to hurt the most. Like, are you not going to do my show anymore? And you're going to say you're not my friend anymore? But you're also saying I'm not funny, and you do that how long like that?
And I didn't meet my goal.
You don't have to think I'm funny, but could you please smash the like button?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's knock this one out.
Can you tell me you don't like me on Streamlabs, Venmo, gifted memberships?
Let's get an unfunny rally going, everyone.
He has, like, zero self-awareness. But something about a dweeb with zero self-awareness is endearing.
Sure.
Okay? And then it starts to trickle in where you're just like, okay, he's enjoying this too much. We can't do this for much longer. I didn't in my wildest dreams think something like this would come out. But again, he kind of call us too nice, but we were a little bit manipulated. And but we definitely saw the signs, didn't see the signs of that. But he knew this the whole time. It's lie after lie after lie. For example.
Oh, this is nuts. This is nuts right here. And I think Keanu did a great job with this last night. Everyone was enthralled by this. I think this is where she does a great job of really breaking down an example of behind the scenes of what was going on, where you go, okay, no one can trust anything Aaron says on his show ever again. You lose all credibility with shit like this.
The day before, I remember the arrest happened, right? He calls me and says, so I have to tell you something. Me and Kayla hooked up a couple of times. I'm like, oh okay. All right, whatever. Our Nick and I guess everybody's been saying that you guys were swinging. Like, okay, why did you? And then he goes, I said, are April and Nick hooking up? He's like, not to my knowledge, no. I never saw anything like that. It only happened a couple of times with me and Kayla. All right. Cut to he's on fucking Keno Casino going, we were wife swapping and da 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 da. Like why even lie to me about that? It's just something always comes out. There's no trusting him. There's no fucking trusting him. I thought he's just a dweeb.
I had to get to that part. I just like that every time. It makes me laugh.
She did go on at some point to explain also more about that he kind of manipulated that and said, oh, well, the reason that I couldn't tell you about the full-on swinging is because, I didn't want it to get out at that time. It was my ability, or maybe he was even fucking saying that.
It was him.
Yeah.
So people were telling him in his chat that she's saying this kind of stuff, and he responds, he's just like, well, I couldn't say anything at that point because the arrest hadn't been made yet. But he's lying, again, because he was playing that swinging song on his show before the arrest happened. He was spelling it all out. He spelled all of this out. The drugs, the swinging, everything about their lifestyle, he made very clear on his show. And when you're talking to the pillow guy, I know who you're talking to in real life. Like, you weren't fooling anyone with this stuff. He was doing it on purpose. It was very obvious. And he can't even tell his friend Keanu, off the record, yeah, Nick's fucking April and I'm fucking Kayla. He'd be like, I don't know. Like, I'm surprised she even went on his show ever again after this. Like, how do I talk to a person like this? Just blatantly lies to me.
Listening to Keanu say that, about that conversation with Aaron, it has me convinced that in his mind, this was the next couple he was going to try to swing with because he really wanted to fuck Geno.
So he was testing the water.
Because he really wanted to fuck Geno.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, he does have a swag to him.
Right?
Sure.
He says he hates women, so what do you do when you hate women?
All right.
Fuck Geno, specifically.
Specifically Geno, yeah.
Wear that headband that I like, would you?
Ooh, Vikings headband. It's hot. Purple's good on you, Geno. All right. So then this happens during this broadcast because no one has heard from April. No one knows where she is, what she's doing. We only know that there were a couple texts that she sent out to, I think, Geno. And Aaron said that he got a text where it's like, you win the divorce. You've ruined my life. Everyone hates me. I'll never work again in this town. Like that kind of shit. It was just like, you've totally dragged my name through the mud. I've got nowhere else to go. Congratulations on that. And spoiler, on the next morning, which is this morning, Aaron comes on and drags her name through the mud some more because that was his defense to all of this, which is always a smart move. Oh, this person whose life I've ruined, there's even more things about her. You're like, all right, relax. We get it. You don't like April anymore. But this is interesting because Keanu gets a text from April, someone they haven't had any communication with in a long time, during this broadcast. So she's watching.
Moment. So I can get it. It's fine. You guys filled in at a time where I really needed you. You could also argue that it was unfair for me not to give them an end date when they could stop getting up at 5 a.m.
Right.
So, and with this censored thing hanging over his head.
Oh, okay.
I think the censored thing, even if there wouldn't have been those bullshit allegations.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
The
Sorry. I
censored
just
thing
got a
would have been
very,
enough for him to not.
I just got a. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I got a big text message. Also, hit the like button. Let me just look at this really fast to know, which makes me happy.
So obviously, Keanu's distracted, reading a very long text that's just coming from April, and she's liking what she's reading.
I'm not going to.
Well, give it to Geno to read. Come on.
I'm not
Someone's
going
got to
to
read it over there.
But this made me really happy. All right. Okay. I can only skim through that right now. But
All right. So obviously, April is saying, I'm glad you're finally realizing what's going on here. I never wanted to not be your friend anymore, but I couldn't under the circumstances. You're doing a show with this guy. He's trying to ruin my life. He's trying to ruin the lives of the people that I live with, or supposedly, who knows, allegedly, at some time, one point. So Aaron makes up this story that he goes, yeah, I wasn't sure what my status was with Geno and Keanu. I hope they wouldn't believe these bullshit allegations, but I wasn't sure. And then I talked to Keanu this morning. I feel so much better. He went on his show and he goes, I talked to Keanu. I feel so much better. So she addresses that.
wasn't really cutting it for me. So I said, you know what? I don't know, man. Maybe don't address it. We hung up the phone. He goes right on his show. I feel so much better. Because I called him and he goes, hello? Because he was fucking messaging us. And we're like, we're not answering you. We don't know what to fucking think. He goes, hello? And then he uses me as this sort of like female security blanket. Well, if Keanu has my back, then all women must. No, you're the exact kind of dude I fucking don't like. Exact. Okay? You're no longer to me just some like fucking
dweeb.
Like unaware dweeb. Okay?
There it is.
That was endearing. I'm not saying we didn't have fun times with you. But then to warp my words like that and to use me is fucked up. I mean, it's just not what I said. You misinterpreted it, or, which I don't believe that, you just fucking warped it and warped it and warped it.
So that's very interesting right there. Because now you see what Aaron's up to. He comes on his show and he goes, guys, listen, Keanu's not going to be on the show anymore, but she loves me. And everything's good. They got their wedding coming up. I couldn't be happier for those kids, and everything's good. And then Keanu comes on a few hours later and goes, fuck that. That's not true at all. The reason why we haven't getting back to him, he's been texting them over and over and over again. They're not getting back to him. They're just like, Jesus Christ, get the hint, buddy. We're done. We're out of the Aaron Imholte business. Come on. We don't want to be toes anymore. Toes before bros. So finally, oh yeah, no. I talked to her and it's all good now. Things are good.
And she also went on to say that all women like me. I'm good with all females.
He's insane. So after that, Aaron shits on April, which is always fun to do.
First, somewhere around there, and a couple others when my Thursday, Friday co-host wasn't feeling well. I would do a lot of solo Thursdays and Fridays towards the end.
When she wasn't feeling well, you fucking loved that. You ate up every fucking moment of everybody fucking shitting on her. Everyone, and none of you in the chat either probably are innocent, okay? I've never called her fucking mega mind. I've never fucking,
Yeah, that would have been a hack.
You're right.
Joke was already made.
Poked at her. You failed as a husband, putting her on the internet in general. And I fuck you when she wasn't feeling well, okay? Fuck off. You put her in that situation. You put her in a lot of terrible situations when she wasn't feeling well.
So
good on her.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's the one driving to the Recadas to do blow all weekend. And then he drives back and I don't know, April's not ready for the show today. It's like, yeah, man, maybe change up your lifestyle a little bit. Takes two to drive to the Recadas and do blow all. So then the question comes up because, as I mentioned, Steel Toe is doing this big 10-year anniversary show. It's a local show in Minnesota, and he wants to do the roast of Aaron at it. And he's wondering, well, obviously, Geno and Keanu, they can't do my show anymore. Early Thursdays, early Fridays. I get it. But I'm sure they're still going to come to the anniversary show.
Yeah. That obviously means we're doing something right. So onward and upward.
You're doing something right.
I will say this. Geno and Keanu, welcome on this show anytime.
We're good, homie. We're good.
As far as I know, anniversary show, still a go.
Okay. That's my question.
As far as their wedding and stuff like that, I mean, obviously, until they tell me.
You mean the anniversary show where you there's a great episode of The Office where Michael Scott, who is the most unaware person of all time, right? We love Michael Scott because it's just acting. He throws himself a roast. Who throws themselves a roast that is this unaware? Okay? Come on, man. Come on.
I thought that was very well articulated by Keanu.
I'm sure Aaron's writing all the jokes for everyone.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, I think I might have the clip, but at some point, Keanu's just like, and he'd be the guy to be like, all right, now you're supposed to say something nice about me, right? But you really do love me. That's
At this point now, I want Keanu and Geno to do it.
Oh, totally.
They should do it.
Keanu even said, she goes, I've been writing for this roast too, and it sucks because there's so many funny things I can say about this dweeb.
You don't even have to use that material. Just talk about what a shithead he is.
Yeah, or give it to Chad Zubak and $1,000 for a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Aaron would be cool about whatever she said. He seems like he can laugh at himself. That's the one takeaway from Aaron Imholte. He can always laugh at himself.
I'm sure he'll be fine. All right. So, I mean, this really does prove, though, that Aaron just makes up fiction in his head and just explains things that aren't real. So anyone who's listening to Aaron and going, oh, I wonder what Aaron's take is on Aaron, don't bother. It's a giant waste of time. Oh, I have Aaron's response now from the next morning. Before I do that, though, you have a clip, Christian, where it's Aaron reacting to this on his show while this is happening.
Yes, and this is the only version of it I could find. It's my Steel Toe #1 clip, but I think it's worth playing because he drags somebody into this. Who I don't think Aaron wanted to drag him into this. There's someone in the chat who might be able to comment on whether or not it was smart.
I have Missy B's response to this that I will show you for sure. So. This is Mule posted this on Twitter. And like you said, Christian, this is someone filming themselves watching this. So you hear
Mule's reacting to the clip.
So you hear Mule's reaction to this. But you'll get the gist of it.
Maybe we'll make that tonight's theme. Just women just fucking going off and being pissed about shit. That's what we'll do. That'll be tonight's repertoire. There we go, if you will.
Okay.
Anthony Cumia admitted to biting his girlfriend, but I guess he didn't get this same Keanu episode.
No.
Interesting. Anthony actually abused a woman. Not saying that, you know, he didn't deserve it.
I think Mule's reaction really makes that.
Yeah,
It does.
totally.
For sure. So let me play this because this is then from the next day.
Wait, is that the last clip you were going to play of Keanu from that stream?
Yes.
Because I have my clip 4 is basically where she's done talking about Keanu. I'm sorry, about Steel Toe. Clip 4.
I don't like the things that I'm hearing. And I hate to do this to yet another person that allegedly abused a woman, but you're no longer a part of our wedding or invited to it at all. So wish you the best. But us not being on your show had nothing to do with the compound merger. And you know what? It's just another win for the toe, I guess. Okay. Anyway, that's all. No Minnesota show. No wedding. Not happening. Throw your invitation in the garbage.
All right.
That was a perfect little cherry on top from Keanu.
And what was funny about that is that Aaron even said, he goes, if they don't want me at the wedding because I'm a distraction, I get it. And Keanu's just like, what the fuck with this guy? He thinks he's such a big celebrity. He would be like, oh my God, Aaron Imholte's here. Whoa, this is too much.
She goes off on that so many times,
Yeah,
and it was
she hates
amazing
that.
every single time that she went off
as
on
the
it.
bride.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to steal her thunder.
No.
It's her wedding.
She was like, yeah, my second cousins are going to know who you are.
Right. It's so stupid. All right. So you saw that Aaron had to go to the Anthony also had a domestic abuse issue. And so, gosh, I don't know why they're all upset with me when they also know Anthony.
He's also wearing the Anthony shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Missy B comments on that. So this is the clip from Mule that he posted, and Missy responds with, when Aaron Imholte admitted to me on Chrissy Mayer's show that he made his living by ripping off Anthony, I didn't think he'd go as far as domestic assault with his own woman, which was very funny. I gave Missy the thumbs up for that.
Method acting.
And then Anthony got involved.
Yep.
And this is Anthony's tweet responding to this. So somebody said, smart move, turn on Cumia, what a dolt. And Anthony says, right? When everyone was blasting this guy for losing his wife to a cokehead, I didn't say anything. Then he tries throwing me under the bus as a way to take some heat off himself. Fuck that. He's an asshole. Totally agree with you. And I'll explain why I agree with that. It's because of when Aaron was on the show the next morning and someone brought up this tweet to him. This was his response to it.
I paid them every single week they were on. Gonzo with $2 says, Cumia was trashing you on X. Any response? He hates you. Well, look, he's team Keanu and Geno. I mean,
first off, thank you, Gonzo. Thanks for getting that in. And $2 too. I love it. So insulting.
Why wouldn't he get their back? He got mad because I made the comparison. I'm like, so you get the word that I might be an abuser guy. And I just made the comparison. Anthony admitted to biting a woman. I mean, that's an apples to apples comparison. I didn't. Nope. I deny it. It didn't happen. I never fucking headbutted or choked anybody. He admitted to this other thing. All I'm saying is one gets a pass, one's a piece of shit. If that upsets him, that's fine. That's okay. That is a legitimate question. That, by the way, I understand why they're upset. There's no fucking good answer to it.
Actually, there is, and I'll explain it to you, Aaron. So the difference is, and obviously Anthony regrets what happened with that relationship. Danny Brand was pushing all of his buttons as much as possible and trying to get a reaction out of him, and got a reaction out of him. And Anthony fessed up to it and did a stint in rehab. I remember his show was off the air for 28 days. It was a bummer for all of us. But Anthony never denied things. He never called everyone else a liar. And Aaron even said that while he's doing this, he's just like, no, you guys are mad at me for something, which I deny.
So Anthony didn't say, well, what about this other guy?
Yeah, right. Anthony didn't throw anyone under the bus. He didn't
What
say
about this other abuser guy?
He didn't say it was anyone's fault but his. He was in a very bad relationship with a psycho, and she finally pushed him to a limit that was too far, and they never talked again. Like Danny Brand wanted to get Anthony in trouble, and she did. And Anthony had to, do his time in rehab or whatever.
But he got a bite in.
And that was the end of it. And Aaron is sitting there going, I mean, gosh, how come you guys obviously just like him more than me?
He played favorites.
Yeah, right. We're playing favorites here. Like, there's a very big difference. You haven't had a good explanation. That was the other thing that Keanu was saying. It's like when these allegations came out and we're seeing all the court documents, she's like, he never gave me a good explanation for it. And just saying everyone's a liar is not a good response.
Speaking of liars, we've often pointed out that Stutcho thinks everyone is as stupid as Stuttering John.
Correct.
Aaron doesn't come off that stupid, but I think he thinks everyone is stupid.
He thinks he can manipulate everyone. Yeah. And it's interesting when he went on MLC to talk to Chad Zumach for the first time after these two have been at war. In a battle that's gotten quite ugly. It's why he is the mud shark. It's because he went straight for Aaron's family, the kids, the ex-wife's book, like all this kind of stuff. And Aaron and April were very taken aback. Remember, he was going to fuck April and all this kind of stuff. Like, he really went after these two. And Aaron did not like that. He thought Chad was a giant piece of shit. But then, all of a sudden, they're on MLC. And they're joking and they're friendly, and Aaron wants to get Chad to his roast now. So he thinks he can charm and manipulate everyone. That's kind of his thing. So when it doesn't work for him, he's wildly confused by it.
Yeah, and out of ideas.
and out of ideas. Here's an idea. Fess up. Tell us what's really going on. If he had April back on his show to talk about this, would that be the most watched?
I think we would have to wait a long time for that.
The most watched stream in the Dabbleverse.
It must be exhausting to remember all these lies.
Well, okay, that's a perfect segue into this next clip. Because I had a message with Tukey and Melton about this. Because he says something, and I'm like, wait, this is patently false. I know this isn't true. So this is his response. He's talking about this leaked document that came out about the spousal abuse that was in the restraining order that Ashley LaRue, his ex-wife, filed.
Morning. Boy, I tell you what, I know a lot of people are tuning in and they're licking their chops and they're wondering, oh boy, how's this guy going to fire back and just torch everybody and blah, 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 blah. When it comes to Geno and Keanu, I will tell you right now, you may be disappointed. I'm going to high road this one. I'm not going to take a flamethrower to anyone. I'm not going to exact my vengeance because I know what happened. And it's not, unfortunately, I know they're not going to like to hear this. It's not unlike what happened to me for months.
Are you the victim? Let's find out. Maybe he's the victim in all of this. I wouldn't have thought so, but maybe that's what's going on here.
Months and months and months. I get it. People can be persuasive. Funny thing is, I never tried to be persuasive. I always openly said, don't take sides. I openly said, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be.
I also said, your kid tested positive for cocaine? What, were they pouring the coke in her hair? Were they meshing it into her hair like it's shampoo? How did she get all that coke in her hair?
Who can afford that?
Why are you spilling your coke on your child's head? Why are you doing that?
Also, I told you to never take sides, but if you have to take a side, I have a recommendation.
I told you to never take sides, and I only gave my side of this the whole time this has been going on.
So, of course, he's the victim, but he says it in a heroic way.
Oh, yeah, and it gets even more heroic. Let me play the rest of this clip first.
Moving onward and upward. Oh, well. I will say I do believe that somebody who's facing legal charges right now had something to do, or at least pointed someone in the right direction to leak that document.
Okay, so now he's accusing Nick Rekieta of getting this document on Kiwi Farms. Now remember, the same person on Kiwi Farms who posted this, also posted the Nick Rekieta stuff of him getting arrested. But whatever. Let's see where he goes with this.
To get at me. And I think that's a real scumbag move. But like I said this week, watching other people get more desperate or more sad or less successful doesn't help me. It doesn't improve my life at all. So
right.
I do have my suspicions. I knew it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. What are you going to do?
There's the movie reference.
Because it did have the intended effect. It does come together like a perfect symphony. I will say that. But it's because, it's funny. Both of the documents didn't come out. Just the one and just the cherry-picked parts that made me look terrible.
Right.
Not the one of someone calling a little boy a retard. That part didn't come out. We didn't get that document where a woman called a small boy a retard. Or
Can we see a picture of the boy?
clips and everything of somebody talking about masturbating while somebody else dies. We didn't.
Okay. So that was the thing right there. So now Aaron is saying that this restraining order, where the restraining order was about how Ashley didn't want April driving the kids. That was part of it. Mm-hmm. And Ashley LaRue pointed out in that thing, I mean, people should read it now that Aaron's changing what it's in it. I would never tell people to do this, but now that Aaron's lying about it, you probably should read it. Basically what happened is April and Ashley formed a very close bond, and they were bonding over the fact that they were both in a relationship with Aaron and knew how shitty that was. Aaron found out about it, got in the middle of it, stopped that from happening, and made sure they didn't have a relationship anymore at all. To the point where Ashley LaRue is watching the Steel Toe Morning Show with Aaron and April making jokes about Ashley dying and her flicking her bean to it because she's so excited about watching this C word die. And when he said this, he goes, that part's not a part of the leak. It shows her out to get me. I went, hold on a second. I think I'm following this story. So I messaged my friends there and I go, I heard you guys talking about this. Wasn't this in the document? Yes. Yes, it was. Because I knew about it. So now he's just gaslighting himself or gaslighting the audience. It's very possible he never even looked at it and someone told him, yeah, no, it just says this stuff in it. Oh, well, what the fuck? There's other stuff in there too. No, it was all in there. It was the whole thing. So I think he's lying.
Also, by the way, saying I know it was you, Fredo, when you're the guy who allegedly called the police on your best friend and your then wife. He's talking about people betraying him.
Yeah, he's the Fredo.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not understanding the plot here. Missy B says, was the boy Aaron? Cardiff says, they're trashing my kids. Oh, boy. A lot of parallels going on over here.
Did you catch in the last clip that Johnny actually said something?
No.
Oh, he went.
I missed it.
He went, yeah, right.
Poor Johnny.
Man, I saw him smoking a joint at one point.
Yes.
I didn't realize he talked. Yeah.
His co-hosts, Johnny and Matt, just bring nothing to the table. And I can't even blame them. I wouldn't know how to react to this either.
I like it when Johnny is like, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
That's like all he does. That's my favorite
he's like,
thing.
Johnny, you know I wouldn't hit April. He's like, yeah, I don't know, man.
I haven't followed any of this.
I don't know, man. It seemed like you guys had a lot of fights. I don't know.
Perfect co-host.
Aaron even explained at one point, the kids came upstairs, they're screaming at each other, and they're like forehead to forehead, like face to face, like faces touching, yelling at each other. But we're not supposed to believe that there was any contact made or anything happened that was physical. I'm like, I don't know. You're the one who's describing these arguments as being like crazy ordeals. So it seems like it's possible. But remember, Aaron is the victim. And people can't believe that someone who's as big and strong and important as Aaron could possibly be the victim, but it's true.
And I had to live through it. But if you're a guy and you're 6'4" and you're a big, loud, brash guy, if you say you were psychologically abused, everyone can just blow past that. They can brush past that. That doesn't matter. That doesn't happen. But if one person who, when it fits their PR profile, can come out and allege things, well, then it's, Jesus, it's beyond a reproach.
This is insane. This is how the show started. Like, this isn't 30 minutes in, he's trying to grasp at straws. Like, right at the very beginning, he's just like, I was psychologically abused. No one's worried about me. We're not. True. But also, that doesn't answer the question.
Right.
Like, why are you lying? Why do you continue to lie about this?
The sprinkling of excuses
is such a tell.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I didn't do it, but also my friend said I didn't do it. And I talked to so-and-so, and they said I wouldn't do it. And then it gets into smearing April. So now, all of a sudden, Aaron's new best friend is April's ex's brother. I mean, only in Minnesota, folks.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Why not? So now we're going to find out that, oh no, April's just the worst person ever. That's why.
Oh. Wow. This actually might be something I have to talk about. I was dating the sister of April's ex-boyfriend. I heard about him and her.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did I even get that right? Wait. That's so confusing.
No.
Dating the sister of April's ex-boyfriend?
Dating the sister?
Cardiff, who's he talking about? It's all Minnesota. Let us know.
Okay. The sister. Why would he know?
He's from Minnesota.
Because he knows everybody in Minnesota.
He's back there looking. He's just like, no.
Well, I know he loves to keep tabs on all the steel toe stuff. That's why I thought we'd bring Cardiff in.
Cardiff, you know these people?
No, fuck them.
Okay.
I do have to say this is pretty on par with what happened between those two. Devin was the nicest guy who bent over backwards for her, and all everyone heard was Devin is a monster. He's so mean, blah, blah. Even manipulated him to getting rid of his dog so he could get a dog she wanted. So fuck Keanu for falling for her shit. Sorry you're going through this. Unfortunately, went through the same shit with Devin's sister. Long live the toe. Wow, that's interesting because that's a lot different.
It's a good message.
That's really
it's a message I just got, which is probably 100% accurate.
Yeah. I didn't write it myself.
Yeah. It also says, Baba Booey, Howard Stern. I believe this is true, everyone.
He's already ordered Long Live the Toe t-shirts for the 10th anniversary.
And interesting. And you know what? You know what's weird about it? It confirms a lot of my suspicions.
Oh, does it?
April would shit talk the hell out of this guy. He did weed all the time. He didn't care about me. He wasn't a good guy. Blah, 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 blah. He was bad to me, so on and so forth. And someone said to me, they go, I look at a picture of Devin, and they said he looks like a genuine, just all-American, good guy.
Well, then there you go. Oh. I rest my case.
Enough said.
Someone said they saw a photo of him. Yeah. He seems like a good guy. April says he's not. I mean, she was just in a relationship with him for years, but
what does she know?
Guys couldn't get to it fast enough.
At some point, if you're Johnny Crutches, though, don't you go like, all right, enough. I mean, should we talk about the fact that the president's a retard? I mean, should we talk about anything that people are interested in? Except for your ex-girlfriend's, ex-boyfriend's brother, sister.
People are interested in this, but I don't know why Johnny Crutches doesn't push back a little bit. Be like, whoa, hold on a second. Now we're just taking a sister's, brother's, boyfriend's, ex's word.
He looked reasonable.
The most he pushed back was saying, I don't know anything about this.
Right. He doesn't want to talk about it. It's like, he must. Well, hold on a second. Is it possible that Aaron's also physically abusing Johnny Crutches, and that's why he's so afraid?
That's the crutches part.
That's why he's in his
Why does he need crutches? We don't know.
That's why he's in his safety escape pod.
He's like, you can't hurt me anymore. He's like, you've got arms, don't you? He's like, all right, I'm sorry.
I need those.
He's like the Rob Saul of this show.
Sorry. Yeah,
oh, my God.
So one more clip about how amazing Aaron is and how terrible April was.
Blah. I mean, you can't argue that I didn't bend over backwards for this person. I opened up my family, which she drove a wedge between. I opened up my show. I gave her a job. I hired her, to come over here and do this show with me because I hate my job. It's so terrible. My body's breaking down. It's awful. I said, do you want to come be on the show? Yes, I'd love that.
It's weird because I remember not that long ago, just a couple of months, where he goes, I never should have brought April on my show. That was my fault. That's my narcissism. That I thought I should bring her on the show, but there was no reason to do that. Now he's patting himself on the back for it. It's amazing. Everything he does is actually great, it turns out. I thought it was terrible. I thought I was wrong. Turns out I was right, and I'm great. What a way to live life.
Yeah, back to him.
I wish I had his optimism.
Back to him charming,
Delusion.
thinking that he can charm everyone.
Yeah.
He really thinks his words have influence over people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
I'm
but
seeing
they
it.
don't. We have evidence. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
There's a super chat on the screen that I don't know if he's going to read, but somebody asks, "How's Slam Piece dealing with this? Still together?"
Yeah, that's the new girlfriend. Oh no, she totally believes me all the way. Yeah, well,
I haven't choked her yet.
Yeah,
allegedly.
She wears a motorcycle helmet in the house, but still, she believes me.
Unrelated.
3 turtlenecks.
Right. She thinks it looks good on her.
And then when the going got tough, I was an asshole for putting her on the show. Every time I would have a problem and I would say she did something that hurt me. By the end of the argument, I was the monster. I was the piece of shit. I was the one who'd done something wrong. It sounds like this was a theme.
I don't think that came out the way you wanted it to.
Interesting.
Yeah, right.
I was a monster. I was the one who did something wrong. It's like a theme. All right, someone can clip that.
I don't think Johnny Crutches hears a word he's saying. He's looking down. He's stroking his beard. He's just like, all right, just say my name if you need anything out of me.
Johnny Crutches would make more money working at Taco Bell than he makes doing this. Like, I don't know why he would be interested in any
he
of
would
this.
get free food.
Wait, you get free food when you work there too?
I mean, you can steal it. At least.
Should we
I've
not
always
be doing this anymore?
Can you steal from a better place?
Yeah, can we pick a different restaurant?
No. There's no such thing, obviously.
Obviously.
All right. So one more clip from this because Aaron decides. So this is this morning. So this is the day after Keanu and Geno go, fuck you. You're an asshole. Go fuck yourself. We're done with Steel Toe. So this is where Aaron decides, you know what? Now's a good time to read a letter that my 10-year-old daughter wrote to me. I can't think of a more douchey thing to do or transparent thing to do. But again, he's going to try to get worked up and choked up about this.
Does it end
This is this kid who can't sing, right? It's that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it also end with another win for the toe?
Another win. Hey, Dad, you're doing a great job. Another win for the toe. The entire family saying that now.
Long live the toe.
All right. So this is the letter from his daughter.
One thing that really turned me around and told me that, you know, the internet is horseshit and internet people are phony and this and that was...
I have to point this out. Patrick brings this up all the time. Internet people, the internet is bullshit and internet people are phony. When the internet people are giving him money, they're great. Yeah. They're the best people. When the internet people are saying you're lying and you're a liar and you're not very good at your show, that's the internet. What are you going to do? I mean, it's internet. It's not real people. It's internet people.
When the internet people are real human people in front of them, he is allegedly beating them. So, you know.
Yeah. The internet people, I can't punch him back, damn it.
He has to separate
I wish some of those internet people would come over here.
If the internet people give me $300 in an hour, I don't have to punch any of them.
Right. It's just so bizarre to me. It's like the internet's not outside of the world. It's part of our world. Whether they listen to you on the radio or the internet or they see you on TV, it's still people. It's all people. Problem with the internet is that it's a two-way communication channel. And that's what a lot of these people don't like.
It's a letter I actually got from my daughter last week. And it's really, I think I got this Monday or Tuesday, turned my entire outlook and my whole life around. And it kind of taught me what's important and who
He's learning life lessons on a daily basis at this point. It's crazy. 37-year-old is just like, I finally figured out why I'm on this planet and what to be excited about in life. Now you did.
Loves you and all of that. And that's why a lot of this stuff just really can't knock me down. My daughter wrote me a letter. And it was on a day where I was having a tough time. So it was like Monday. Wednesday, everything just kind of snapped into place for me.
That's bizarre too.
She writes, "Dear Toe."
Yeah, that's weird too, because he's constantly saying, like, things are good. I'm good now. Things are great. I got Slam Piece. I got my Al-Anon meetings. I'm killing it. And then he comes back and just like, I was having a really fucking rough day yesterday. Things are really bad, but now things are great again. You're like, are things bad now too?
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, it sounds like when you were telling me they were great yesterday, they weren't great. So now I'm confused.
And this is going to be tough. If I cry like a little bitch, you know, don't be like April and yell at me.
God, fucking stealing my bit again. Everybody, I I went through a lot of effort and personal shame to establish I'm the cry like a bitch guy. I know.
The funny thing that's going on in the show is that Aaron wants to cry and can't. And Johnny Crunch just doesn't want to cry and can't stop. It's a blubbering mess.
Irony.
It's kind of funny.
This is why he never talks.
Yeah, right. Johnny Crunch, what do you think about this article? I hate my life. All right, let's go back to the article.
Wants to steal my fucking thunder. Jesus.
Dear Dad, I love you so much, and I care about you.
This is like a love letter.
I hate seeing you sad.
Get a room.
What are you wearing?
I think about our nights together. Right,
Dear Penthouse Forum, I always read your letters, but I never thought it would happen to me.
The 10-year-old are going to be accused of all sorts of things now by Aaron. Oh, all right, let's get back on track.
Just don't be on your phone and don't be on your desk.
Did he follow any of those instructions or advice at any point?
We don't want to remember you as a dad who was sad. Stay off it and remember, I love you so much. Jesus loves you. Your daughter. I love Dad.
I don't know about that.
The daughter's
Jesus into
I'm
it.
sad.
The daughter's name is I Love Dad. I'm going to name my kids that. That's awesome.
He's not a narcissist at all.
Yeah, right. What a weird letter to write. We don't want to remember you as a sad dad.
Dude. On Saturday, we brought up, he talks about suicide a lot.
Yes.
And this might be coming across to the kids a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think about that angle because, yes, he loves to threaten self-harm. And you guys just want me to come and go, me. And you're like, no, what he does.
Yeah, no, we weren't thinking about that.
I wasn't thinking about that at all. Aaron,
You believe this was a letter from his kid, Carl?
I don't. It sounds I don't think a child would write something like this.
Oddly enough, that letter is in Knight Melendez's handwriting.
Oh, now it's making a lot of sense. Now it's all
Let me
coming
see
together.
the S's, Aaron.
Yeah, let's see this letter that you claim to be reading from.
At first it said, sincerely, Aaron. He's like,
oh, fuck. I mean, I love Dad. Didn't make sense. Where did she put that? So, yeah, when Aaron like threatens self-harm and stuff like that, it's like, no. The answer is not that. It's getting away from the internet. It's getting a different job where you can't be insulted by strangers all day because you don't handle that well.
Yeah, this might not be for you.
It might not be for you. Look at how Christian takes it. He's a champ over here.
Carl, again, I'm not following the Steel Toe saga very well, but this is the guy who wasn't on Instagram for over a year until the week after all this shit started and starts posting pictures of his kids on Instagram.
He posts a video of him and his daughter singing karaoke just to rub it in Nick Rekieta's face that he still has his kids.
Yeah, that's his next shirt. He's going to have the kids on there. He's got the Anthony shirt, the Clam Radio shirt.
Yeah.
Charlotte. And she put these little stickers in there.
Also, could you imagine writing your dad a heartfelt letter if this was real, which it obviously is not, because everything he says is a lie, and then your dad reads it on the show that you're telling him to get away from? Yeah. Like, Dad, are you fucking missing the point?
Another Stutcho parallel.
Yes.
My kid says it's too toxic. Get away.
Right. And I said,
I love my kid.
There's too much money and I can't stop.
This is literally creating content around a theoretical child saying, please don't create more content.
Yes. It's insane. If Aaron was talking to a therapist once a week, like he says he does, he should bring this to the therapist and say, I read this letter from my daughter telling me to stop doing this thing that's driving me insane on the show. And now people are goofing on that and it's driving me insane. Oh, did you listen to yourself just now? Yeah. I'll write it down if you want me to. Like, this is probably something that you could pick up pretty quickly, right?
She brought these with her that day because she knew I was having a tough time. And one of them is Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds.
Religious Aaron is my least favorite Aaron now that he's found God.
And religious stickers are my least favorite stickers.
We're strawberry fucking shortcake.
Imagine that your 10-year-old needs to be the rock.
Yeah.
Dad, I know you're going through it. I'm here for you. We could do this together. It's like, Aaron, you got to not let your kids know that you're depressed about the internet. They shouldn't know that. You should be putting on a brave face, and you should be worried about their feelings. You should be worried about their getting along.
And the other one is from Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. And that's from a fucking 10-year-old. That's amazing.
So dismissive.
That's from a dumb 10-year-old, guys. Can you believe that?
Don't insult I love dad like that.
If his daughter really had written that letter, she would have been like, it's like the Paw Patrol always says, no pup is too big, no pup is too small. Love you, Dad.
Podcast, WATD.